Hello. Today I would like to share with you what was a disease to me, self-sabotage. I knew deep down that I was capable of quite a number of things. However, when I am about to implement, there would be this jabbing self-doubt. What if? What if this happens? I need to look at these risks. It carried on for a long time, but I am not ready. I would keep on telling myself this. Self-sabotage. I'm Linda. I am sharing this with you because I usually look back and say, I lost so many years because of doubting, sabotaging myself. And I wouldn't like that to happen to you for a very simple reason. The bottom line is that for a long time, from when we were born, from when we were little, from our families, from our friends, from where we grew up, there are stories we were told about ourselves. Right up to now that we are adults, we think that we are the labels we attach to ourselves. We think that we are the status we attach to ourselves. At the same time, there is something we miss. We define ourselves in terms of what we own, what we have achieved, and the social status. It goes on. However, the bottom line is, do we know who we are? I'm Linda. I would like us to be together until the end of this video because there is something very important that I would like to share with you. It's something that I learned at a very late stage of my life. For example, are we sure you and I know who we are? Are we sure that when we no longer own what we own, that we would be at peace? Not that I am discounting ownership. I'm going to explain that later. What is important is that we be aware that right now, we are not the story we tell ourselves. We're not. We are much more than that. And that is the purpose of this video. We are much more than the story we've been telling ourselves, because that is how we have been conditioned for a long time. We are much more than that story. I am going to be suggesting that from today onwards, let us delete the story we have been telling ourselves and write a new script. I'm not being hard when I say, and I've said this in my previous videos, that we create our life. It is not created by other people. We create our life. If it is a life that makes us less joyful, we need to look at that. What is it that makes us less joyful? What is it that makes us dissatisfied with our life? What is it that makes us feel stagnant and stuck? It's because of the old story that we tell our life, we tell ourselves, and we even associate ourselves with the thoughts. And that is the nub of the challenge, associating our lives with the thoughts and then feeling less joyful because of our thoughts. So the challenge that faces you and I is that we rewrite our script. We need a new script, and literally to even start writing it every morning. For example, it is important for us as we begin to rewrite our script to understand that there are two types of assets. There are assets we see, we can touch, our beautiful homes or houses, cars, clothes. We can touch money. These are visible assets. We tend to put more emphasis on visible assets. And I think that is where the disconnect is. Because as far as visible assets are concerned, they can disappear. Money can be stolen. Our homes may be repossessed if, for instance, we fall on hard financial times. So, how do we anchor our life in such a way that there is a balance? So, I'm going to be saying, let us look at invisible assets. By invisible assets, I mean these assets that can never be stolen or taken away from us. Joy, beauty, peace, compassion, all the things or the assets that we cannot see and touch. The bottom line is that they are valuable because we can feel them. When I'm joyful, nobody can take that joy away from me unless I give it away myself. When I am peaceful, nothing can disturb my peace unless I give it away. There is nobody who can steal the inner silence. There is nobody who can steal the love I feel for whoever I come into contact with. Nobody can steal that. In my language, there is something we call Ubuntu, being humane, being accommodating, being loving, being generous or charitable. Ubuntu. Nobody can take that away because it is your inner world. It is inside. That is why I decided to balance the visible assets as well as the invisible assets, because the invisible assets anchor our life. Nobody can take those assets away from us. In our modern life, where we are listening to the noises, we are drowned by the advertising, we are distracted by the goings on until we think that life is totally out of kilter. And then we begin to doubt ourselves. What I'm suggesting is that because it doesn't happen overnight, that we begin to be anchored in our inner, rich, confident self. It doesn't happen overnight. We need to remind ourselves every day. That is why I said we need to start rewriting the script, the new script that says, I am not that outside world. I am not this and that outside, what I see, that I am joy, I'm confidence, I'm peace, I'm love, I'm compassion. That is very important. It creates a balance. It creates a balance when we look at the material world, when we look at the social life, our friends and family, when we look at the self-development. Where are we? Who are we? Are we comfortable with who we are? That is very important. The answer doesn't lie from outside. The answer is within. I'm going to summarize this by saying the inner world, which anchors, which is the essence of who we are, doesn't change. It is solid. It is a world where silence anchors our essence. So I call that our state. It is a state of you and I. In order for us not to be distracted, it is important that every day we remind ourselves that we are rewriting our story so that we remain in a state of balance, the being balanced, the isness. I call it the isness. It can be very assuring that whatever happens in the outside world, we are solid. I'm Linda. If you find this video helpful, do press a like button. I invite you to subscribe and share so that we continue sharing videos. I appreciate your setting aside your time. Thank you very much for watching.